Howdy everyone, y'all, this is Voltage. I'm recording this directly after my last video that I did of the other three rap battles, because I want to finish this thing off and truly decide the winner of Mario's team and Sonic's team to see who really wins the rap battle stuff. Because currently now, Luigi and Wario have beaten Shadow and Tails in their two battles. Mario lost to Sonic. Bowser versus Dr. Eggman. This is one of the ones I was very hesitant about deciding the winner. In the battle, I gave it to Dr. Eggman the first time, but I'm going to redo it again and see what really happens. I understand most of the disses this time as well. Bowser's the king of the Koopas. He traps the princess, but Eggman tries to trap critters, which for robots. But in this thing, Bowser and his crew would probably easily stomp Eggman if they try to capture them. Right at the chopper, they just jack for me. Eggman's chopper really looks like Bowser's. You face the monster conquering galaxies. Bowser in the Mario Galaxy games literally tries to make a sort of planet generator at the middle of the solar system. Bowser has an entire castle. Eggman only has a lab that he hides in, because you lose to animals in every battle. Bowser and all troops are all animals. Superstar Saga. I think that's representation of Metal Sonic versus Sonic, and Metal Sonic lost to Sonic. I think that's a reference to that. Eggman, he likes chicken. Bowser's inside story. Lizard brain, simple.
One thing that I must ask then, did you look back at all your games? Because you lose to the Mustache Man.
He loses to Mustache Man. Eggman has a mustache. And a pretty bushy one at that. To beat up Deuce's jump. Referencing to most of the Mario games, he just has to jump, or he just has to jump over Bowser, and then Bowser falls in lava and he is dunked.
You went into the lava, you're dunked. I'd be more threatened rapping against Doug.
So rap against Doug, I don't really know the connection to that, unfortunately, but I'm gonna have to assume it's probably the voice actor from the first Mario movie. Not the new one, because this was made 3 years before that one was released a few weeks, about 2 months ago.
Bowser, go back in that shell so you can hide, coward. Are you rapping in your final form? Your flow
He's roasting dry Bowser.
I'm a mad genius, you're a buffoon. I'll turn this dragon to my dragoon. My flow is out of this world as if I had just pissed on the moon.
As if I just pissed on the moon. That's a meme that people really make about Eggman. But overall, in the first verse, I'm keeping Bowser in the lead just barely. But in the second verse, Eggman really strikes back. He could have cracked with 2 in Smash Bros. Bowser's in Smash Bros. Eggman is not. And you're supposed to carry that film? Yeah, I noticed that that's spelled differently. Jim Carrey voices Dr. Eggman in the Sonic movies, and you're supposed to carry that film? Please. Bowser's bomb, he basically slams his butt on the ground. So he's gonna bomb like he go down B, so he slams his. So it's basically he's gonna slam the butt. That redesigned Sonic look better, but they can't redesign all the bad comedy. Shouldn't have brought the faker to battle. In the original Mario movie, Bowser looked really, really terrible, and honestly, I wish he devolved to Ooze as well.
The greatest part is when you devolve to Ooze, you spit fire true, but still it's no sweat, cause you're only hot when you turn to Bowsette.
Ooh, turn to Bowsette. That is pretty mean. Captain 1 is just such easy targets.
Capturing women is such easy targets. I've seen honeys hashing out of your garden. Think you're superstar. Kid, you're just in the bush league. Did you get amnesia? A second.
In one of the Mario Luigi Dream, in one of the Mario Luigi team up games, Bowser actually ends up getting amnesia and becoming a Falfal's minion called Rookie. This verse is very, very mean to Bowser, I would say, personally.
Rookie, your plots end with no payoff.
Bowser's plot that he always has ends with no payoff. He just wants to marry Peach. Never works out, I'd say.
I drop gems and spit chaos. Flash your fangs, go gash your flames, but I'll swing your tail and you'll...
Super Mario 64. Mario always swings Bowser by his tail and sends him flying and says, "Okay, Bowser."
I give you a visual though. A dino extinct by the dust missile flow. I trapped the beast, you are not the OG, you're not even Mario's own.
Quite possibly one of the more interesting dishes. You're not even Mario's original foe. In the past, I said that back then Mario was not called Mario back then, but I actually did some research, and actually, Mario did have a different foe that wasn't Donkey Kong, because back then it was called Jumpman. But when he got turned into Mario, Mario's first foe was actually Donkey Kong Jr. So this verse actually does make sense now. And overall in this rap battle now, after understanding all the verses and stuff that happened in this, I still do carry on my original assumption. Eggman does win this one. But just barely, because this one, Bowser does have some pretty mean verses. Like, you're supposed to carry that film, please. And also, you can't correct the way to get on Smash Bros. But Eggman just hits harder than Bowser in this fight. Time for the final one. And the one that I still go back and forth with. Because Peach and Amy, these two are ruthless to each other. They don't play nice at all. This is quite possibly to be one of the toughest decisions I've ever had in all of this kind of watching stuff career I've had of reacting to this kind of stuff.
Makes pizza extra.
I will rate this with 100% certainty that there will be no bias in this. I will admit right now that I do like Mario better than Eggman in those kind of, than Mario. I like Mario better than Sonic. I like Luigi better than Tails. But in Wario vs. Shadow, I like Shadow a lot more than I like Wario. And also, in the situation of Bowser vs. Dr. Eggman, I like Bowser a lot more. I would give that to Bowser if I was biased, but I give it to Eggman because he actually did better in the verses. Wario did better in the verses than Shadow did. And in this situation now, of Peach versus Amy Rose, personally, I like Amy more than I like Peach, because Peach, well, I've had to save her butt nearly 20 times because she is such a worthless piece of crap that gets captured so often. But now, let's just get onto this for real. Bowser and Nintendo always lock Peach up. This sphere is actually a reference from the time that Peach spent without playing games in the mainstream games, because the first game she was in Super Princess Peach / Super Mario World 3. She was playable in that, and then the next game she was in was 25 years later in Super Mario Bros. 3D World. She was playable in that game, not counting all the spin-off games. Yeah, if I'm the animal here, then why you're in a cage? There's no burst there. The cat suit. All the weapons that Peach uses, well, actually, only one of them she uses in Smash Bros. Is in the kitchen. That's his frying pan. She uses a golf club and also a tennis racket. So that really, honestly, isn't really a verse. That really is a roast, because Peach doesn't use just stuff that is sold from the kitchen. Peach in the Super Princess Peach game, Peach apparently cries and gets sort of powers from it. Apparently, the best she does whenever Mario rescues her is kiss him on the cheek, and in her counter in Smash Bros, she pulls Toad literally off beneath the skirt, and that really makes him get the action. I'd say personally, he'd be kidnapped again before the battle ends. Princess. Did they make her Princess name push up daisies? Really? You think Daisy's better than Peach? No. Daisy has honestly not really been in any main series game ever compared to Peach, who's been in 3 now? Daisy's never been playable in them yet. But now with Super Mario Wonder coming out, Daisy and Peach both get a chance. And honestly, if you want to see someone with a better princess, Rosalie is obviously the best princess. The amount of all your games? None. Amy has no games to her name. Peach has Super Princess Peach, her own game. When she sees the fire flower, she starts spitting flames. So that kind of says that if she sees a rose, she'll start spitting flames. So when she sees Amy, she'll just start spitting flames. Talk about relationships, I don't want to hear it. Sonic is always dashing away from Amy to do other stuff, cause he's always too busy.
You're trying to get with Sonic, but you never get near him. So when it comes to Smashing Girl, you only got
Smash Girl got Spirit. This one is actually a reference to her being a spirit in a Smash Bros. And Sonic is a playable character. She wants to be with Sonic, but that's just a fanfic, basically, which she should just probably stick to DeviantArt for that instead. DeviantArt where people make art, and I've done some research on that, and honestly, there is quite a lot of fan art of Amy with Sonic. Oh, you're not his girlfriend, you're a Sonic rider. I don't fully understand this, but calling her a Sonic rider, that is mean. Stepping up to people who are even a teen, Amy Rose isn't even a teenager yet, so that really doesn't do good. I recognize this from the past. I remember hearing Cam say that cream and cheese are part of Amy's team, and something like that, so you're gonna get creamed. You look into the future. Honestly, this one's very hard to decide in the first verse because they're both coming at each other pretty damn tough. But on the first verse, I barely give it to Amy. Overall, barely. Peach being called Toadstool, not really good for her name in the past. That is very, very predictable. I'm not really thrilled about that verse, but whatever. You scream when you're tied up, but don't you admit you aren't in danger? You're like getting kidnapped. Oh god. That is mean. She likes getting kidnapped by Bowser. This reference is to the fact that in the Super Mario, the one with Yoshi, when Yoshi's first into Super Mario World, every time you get to a castle, Toad tells you that the princess is in another castle. So let me get down to some personal business. Ooh, in one of the Sonic games, Sonic gets kissed by a human princess, which basically Peach's claim that she could just steal Sonic from Amy. Never watched the Sonic movie, but Sonic is in the movie. I'm pretty sure he's basically they become now best friends with James Marsden. And this, because Sonic loves Booms more Heaves than James Marsden, that's not exactly nice. This is a Smash Bros. Reference. Oh, did I win? She's number one, Amy's number two. I love that ending. But honestly, overall, this one is very, very, very hard to decide because Peach came in on those last three lines alone. But overall, oh, this is such a hard decision. Honestly, it is. I honestly think overall, Peach had some better verses, just barely. Because she flat out said that she could steal Sonic from Amy. I mean, sure, Amy pointed out that she loves getting kidnapped, but still, this is such a hard one to decide. I honestly don't know who to pick, but I'd say just barely that Peach wins this out just barely still. Compared to the past, I have to still barely give it to Peach. I'm sorry if you guys think there's bias here, there's not. In the verses and disses, Peach just barely does it a little bit better in my opinion. She points out all the flaws of Amy and her characters, like she has no games while Peach has games. When she sees a rose, she starts spitting flames. Also, that she's a spirit in Smash Bros. While Peach is a fighter herself. And also, she really lays down the point that Sonic really doesn't like Amy, and that Peach herself could probably steal Sonic from Amy. Amy herself pointed out the fact that Peach wasn't playable in a long time period of games, but Peach was at least actually playable in games. She also pointed out that she probably likes getting kidnapped, which sure that is mean, and I will give her points for that. But Peach is just a little bit more brutal in these situations. And also, I really do love this finisher as well. That's a pretty good finish. Oh, did I win? It's an actual windscreen of hers in Smash Bros. She actually says, "Oh, did I win?" in Smash Bros. When she wins a game. That is such a nice throwback that it's also very, 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 very unkind to Amy that she says this. But overall, I will stick with my original theory and saying stuff that Team Mario barely wins out on this fight, and that Peach beats Amy, and that Eggman beats Bowser. I will stick with those two things, and that's been 2 years later from this thing when it first released. Actually, this is 2 years later. I came with this decision. It's a hard decision, I will say that personally. But honestly, thank you so much for watching these videos. I've spent a long time watching Cam Steady. And from when he first started, I've watched most every rap battle he's done that's a two-person rap battle. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you're new. Bye.